Hi, everyone. This is Robin McAuley from Black Swan, and you are listening to Talking About Rock.
All right, today's guest is known for his time as the vocalist for McAuley Schenker Group and the band Grand Prix. He's also the vocalist for the all-star project Black Swan, which also features Reb Beach, Jeff Pilson, and Matt Starr. Here to chat with us about the band's upcoming release, Paralyzed, out February 13th. Let's welcome Robin McAuley. Robin,
Hi,
how are
everyone.
you?
I am doing great. Robert, thank you very much. Just to give you a quick update, as of this morning, due to distribution issues, that February 13th has now been pushed back to February 27th. So mark your
27th.
calendars. Get your orders in if you didn't get them in already. So February 27th and not February 13th, so that everybody can get their copies. So a little distribution hiccup, as we say.
Not a problem, not a problem. Okay, we'll update our records so folks look out for that. So, again, thank you so much for being here. Great to have you back with us, as always. Definitely. So, this is the third album here for Black Swan. Very cool.
Yeah,
the latest single, Paralyzed, sounds great. You know, outstanding vocals as always, and a very tasty solo from Reb on here. Definitely.
Yeah, Mr. Beach never disappoints. He's amazing to watch, amazing to listen to. And I've had the pleasure, of course, of seeing him many times with Winger live. And yeah, he's the master of great melodies. He loves that fast action playing, but he always rounds it off. He comes out of there like a mushroom. He just blooms with those great melodies and those great solos. It's a good band, man.
it's definitely a great band. The names you've got in here, and I think Reb doesn't really get enough love, enough credit. You know what I mean? They had a hard time back in the Winger days, you know, getting any love for that band. You know, I talked to Kip a while back, you know, and I thought they're excellent. Back in the day, you know, but I guess from what I'm hearing is they're talking about retiring that band. Is what I'm hearing.
I don't think it's a case of retiring. I think it's just, maybe Kip, you know, composes, and so
right. He's a classical composer, and I don't think people really know that either. You know?
Yes, he's very, very much in love with his classical music, his compositions. He's been doing it for quite a while. And I think now he wants to focus more on that aspect of his brilliance, because he's really pretty awesome. Yeah. So that frees up Reb. And of course people go, well, if Reb is not in Winger, do you think we could get some Black Swan live? And of course the answer is we hope.
Right, that was going to be my next question. Obviously, you know what I mean, for sure. Like I was saying,
let's just say in 2026 we are talking more now than we talked in the last 2 years.
Good, so, very good. Yeah. Like I was saying, when I heard this track, you know, you guys have been very, very good at each album is progressively a little bit different and has a little bit more of a hook sometimes, or a little bit heavier. This was a little bit heavier, I thought.
Yeah. You know, we didn't sit down and go, let's make a heavy record. It just sort of blossoms that way. You know, Jeff and Reb will spend a couple of weeks woodshedding, and Reb's in Pittsburgh. Jeff and I live pretty close together here in LA. Matt's out on the East Coast also. He's in Connecticut. So, hard to get all of those guys in the same room at the same time, but we do get it together. Jeff and Reb come in and they trash out usually the first half of the record. Then it lands on my desk for a few weeks, and I listen to the stuff, come up with lyrics, melodies, do a rough vocal, demo it, send it to Jeff. and then it's up to Jeff. Go, well, I'm not home this week, but I'm home next week. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to do this much, and so that's how we do it. And usually the music comes in pretty basic, no lead breaks or anything, no drums, just a little programming. Jeff is really good at that. He's a great producer, engineer. And the funny thing is that Matt's the last one to go down. It's a different sort of a scenario, not everybody in the same room. People have said, there's nothing like the spontaneity between musicians in the same room. Of course that's true. Of course it is.
Right. If you can do that, right? If you're able to.
These are different times that sometimes it's just not always possible. Matt had a great comment, and he said it's an interesting position to be in when I hear the songs in a completed form without the drums. I get a chance to sit and listen, and now I can really lock in and do something on top, that as opposed to just putting it down and it's mixed and you're going, I wish I'd had a chance to listen to that longer, carefully. And
so he kind of likes that format. It gives him a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, he likes it. And then, he definitely brings the thunder, that man. I love what he does. So does it work for us? It definitely works. Yeah, it works.
Yeah, it definitely does. The tracks are definitely sounding great, as for sure. And I have to ask you, as we know, many veteran vocalists struggle to keep their voice sounding powerful and healthy, right? It seems to be a challenge for them. Something you seem to have mastered.
That is what they say. That's what they're telling me.
Yeah, but it's something you have seemed to have mastered here. I think your voice sounds amazing still on it.
I'm in a good place. Voice is good. Voice is responding to my requests. I take great care of it. It's not just something that I wake up and go, I'm going to sing really good today. You have even if you're in your prime,
right?
It can knock on your door. You can get sick. You can get all sorts of stuff.
Right. In the last couple of years, as all the musicians have gotten older, obviously, we've seen this a little bit more with bands, right? Where they struggled in this in a lot of aspects. You know what I mean? And I feel bad. I mean, it's really tough for a vocalist.
No, it is. And if you're on a tour bus is not kind to the voice. Flying is not kind to the voice. But it's really up to the individual. How much care do you want to dedicate to your instrument? And if I have, I spent most of 25 in Europe, and that's worrisome because, you pray that you're not going to get sick, and you pray that you're going to show up every night for the shows, and it's just going to be as good as the last night. And so it's a work. I take, I travel with my little humidifiers and my sprays and all sorts of stuff.
Right. Some people don't do that. They don't take, like you're saying, that much of a conscious effort, and even now, like there's not a lot of meet and greets, or it's very small, right?
Yeah, that is true. Public enemy number one for me on the road is somebody with a cold. If you have a cold, do not come near me. Don't come into the same room. Don't pretend you don't have a cold, because it's not just me. Everybody else around you will slowly but surely get sick,
Right, for sure.
And getting back to the tour bus, it's an incubator for shit. That's the only way I can put it. So right. It's important, and for me, the fans pay for a ticket, and they deserve to get a good show and not come in and hear an excuse. I'm sorry, I'm not up to it tonight.
Right. I've been to shows in the past, and I won't name names or point fingers, obviously, at anybody, but maybe they talked a lot more than they normally talk during the show, and I understand that. You have to do that sometimes. I aspired one day to be a vocalist, never did, but I mean, you have to do what you have to do sometimes to get through stuff. But I'm just saying, you seem to take a little bit more care, and that's definitely noticed for sure.
I try, Robert. I try. And over the years, you get to know the forest, and sometimes how to get around the trees sometimes if you're not as good as you think you want to be. And people, for the most part, go, I didn't hear anything,
Right.
And that's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, it's important to me. I don't want to go to a show or a concert either, and be let down because I was so looking forward to hearing a particular song the way I wanted to hear.
Right. And another thing I want to ask you, we talked about this in the past before. You were involved in the artwork and the designing of stuff here for the band. Were you involved in this again? This is some pretty neat artwork we have here again.
Oh, so let me first of all say that for all three of the Black Swan records, we have been very fortunate to have the amazing talents of Stan Decker, who's French. That guy does not need my help. Okay, he doesn't need anybody's help. The man he's a real artist. Okay, but Jeff and Reb go, okay, so you got the artwork? Good. Robin will do it. And I said, what if you hate my ideas? They'll go, no, we're going to love it. We're going to love it. Right? And so I talked to Stan and I went, just here's the title. Once we decide on the title, here's the title, run with it. And he goes, yeah, but I know you have some ideas.
Right. You kind of have an idea of what you might want to start with, right?
And when we decided on the track Paralyzed as the title track, I started to play with the words, play with the lyrics that were kind of frozen in time. You can interpret the song any way you want. I interpreted such as we've been in a fickle, which are we going this way? Are we going that way? What are we doing? We feel frozen on the spot. And I like to read, I like to research, and I had found this big archaeological find where they found all of these Chinese warriors that were like, these made of sand, and they were like rows and rows and rows and rows, and it's thousands of years old, and they were buried with the emperor to take care of the emperor. It's a true story. And I went, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Right.
We
yeah.
Had all of these little swannies frozen out there somewhere. And we don't know which way we're going till the ice melts. And that's really what started it. I threw it at Stan and he came up with this he goes, is that anything? And we tweaked it a little bit. I wanted really frozen scapes to really make it look like this thing was stuck in a rut, stuck on the ice, and we'll wait till it melts, and then we'll know which way we're going. And by that time, it'll be album number 4.
Right. There's always the next project going on.
Right.
That's a nice segue to my next thing. You have other projects going on? I know you try to keep busy. You have other things happening?
Yes, I do. I as you mentioned, this is the third Black Swan record with Frontiers. I finished my third solo record in 25 with Frontiers also, making it a total of 6 records in almost 6 years for me with the label. So I went out in 25 to support the record Soulbound. I have Sweden Rock coming up. I got invited to Sweden Rock in June. I'll be in Naples, Italy with the label on February 26th to the day before the release of the record, actually, to celebrate 30 years of Frontiers Music SRL. And I just signed on with a new agency, Dragon Productions, who takes care of all of the MSG tour scheduling. So they signed me on as a solo artist. So I'm expecting to be very busy on that front. And then I have different projects that I do a lot of writing for out of the UK. Something is brewing. They were almost got a full album ready of something completely different. A different set of clothes, different hat, that I'm very excited about. So I like to see what the voice is capable of doing and not always do the same thing. The predictable. I hate the predictable. Oh, here we go again, more of the same.
Right.
Not too much into all of that, even though, when you're in a project, something similar is expected of that. So, yeah, I'm working on a bunch of different stuff. So 26, I'm hoping to be out there presenting something different and something new. Yeah.
Right, and I'm sure there's going to be another Robin McAuley album in there somewhere, sometime. No, we're not going to see that for a little while.
There's plenty of time.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep. There'll be more.
There'll be
There
more.
will be
Okay.
more.
Always
Yes.
good to hear, definitely. And the one thing you didn't mention there with a lot of you're kind of known for is your time for doing those shows in Vegas for Raiding the Rock Vault. You know what
Ah,
I mean?
that's interesting. I covered almost 1,500 shows in my period with Raiding the Rock Vault. Raiding the Rock Vault closed the doors for the last time on December the 31st. So the Vegas period is over and out. It's done after 13 years. It's done. I am part of another classic rock show called Icons of Classic Rock. We do a lot of huge shows down in Mexico, a lot, Bolivia, Peru, that sort of stuff. And looking at taking shows to the US this year as well. Great lineup. Alex Littlewood from Santana, Paul Shortina from Rough Cut Quiet Riot, Johnny Edwards that was a time in Foreigner, Kevin Chalfont, Dave Edwards that actually was the original singer with AC/DC.
Yeah.
And a band to die for. I mean, it's like 10, 12 people up on stage. It's massive, huge production, and an absolute blast to do.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So you brought up a lot of different groupings there, and obviously the name Foreigner with Jeff Pilson. Maybe something in the works for you guys to do something with them at some point. I mean, that would kind of be a no-brainer for me, right?
You would think. You would think. Regarding the Black Swan live shows, there's some serious talks going on about how we make it work with everybody's schedule. Right. For me, the most logical way to present Black Swan is festivals, because it's a lot of people in the same place at the same time on the same weekend. And that makes a lot more sense to me to present the band from a festival stage. And no pun intended, but pun intended, kill two birds with the one stone. So if Foreigner was on that bill, it would also be awesome, because Jeff wouldn't have too far to travel.
Right. Well, you have the big festivals. They have the M3 festival, the Download Festival, yes. Right? You guys maybe hopefully in talks with some of that. I know the M3 festival is always great.
It's awesome. I mean, and that's what I like. I personally love the festivals. I love the atmosphere. It's electrifying. It's mayhem, but it's a great high energy type of mayhem that I love it. So yeah, those are the talks, and I'm hoping that the penny drops somewhere and we get the invite and everybody's available.
Yeah, and you talked about this a little bit earlier too. You're going to be doing some McAuley Schenker festivals or events, right? That's kind of in the works.
Yeah, I'm already scheduled for Japan with the MSG portion. Michael's out doing his UFO 50th anniversary of UFO. He starts some more Japanese dates actually as we speak. In the next few days, he'll be doing about 5 shows in Japan. Then he's going to do the second leg of Europe with the UFO stuff, and then enter the MSG period, which is where I come back in. Yeah. And there is a new record, Don't Sell Your Soul. I have 2 tracks on there. There's Eric Grunwald, of course, who's just amazing.
Right. Yeah, I was surprised to see him come back so quickly.
Oh, dude!
Obviously, another Skid Row. Obviously, for so long struggling, trying to get their singer, trying to make that happen. I feel so bad for those guys. Yeah. They're such good guys. I was lucky enough to speak to Rachel a while back, but yeah, and they got Eric, and I'm like, okay, I think maybe you guys are set now, but.
And he was amazing with them. He was amazing, right, and he put his health first, and then he did the UFO thing with Schenker. He's got a little bit more to do. He'll do the Japan dates, and then he's going to concentrate. I think it's almost done. He's going to put out a solo record, which is what he should be doing, because the guy, he just needs him. He needs him and people around him, because the man is just an amazing talent, and he has. I have full respect for him. He wrote a great book, and he puts his health and family first. Which, if he didn't have that, he wouldn't be able to do anything. So, priorities mucho essential for him. Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely have to take care of yourself, especially out on the road, right? The conditions you guys are in, or what town you're going to be in, or if you're on a bus or on a plane, and then right to the hotels, and it's crazy. People think like this is a fun lifestyle. It's really not, folks. It's really not.
It's work. People don't think it's, oh my God, you get to see all those beautiful places, and you get to see hotel rooms a lot.
Right. You get to see backstage, a bus, and a hotel room.
You get to see, and sometimes you go, wow, that was a nice town, I think.
Right. I saw the outside of the auditorium, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I love to go wandering. I love architecture. I love history. I love different stuff. And I like to explore. And unfortunately, you hit the ground running and you go, shit, next time.
Right. Well, we can't wait for next time for you, for all these shows and stuff you got coming up. It sounds great. I can't wait till you see the dates from Black Swan. I've been waiting for this since the first album, as I'm sure a lot of people out there have been, right?
Thank you. It's we're very happy with this record. Paralyzed is it's kicking ass. It's a nice progression from Shake the World, Generation Mind into the third phase of Black Swan. It's a great band. I am so proud to be part of it. I'm really honored to be up there with Jeff and Reb and Matt. It's and we have a blast doing it. So take a listen. Remember February 27th now as opposed to the 13th.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, folks. Check out the new Black Swan, Paralyzed, out February 27th. I updated my information there. All right. Robin, thank you so much. It is always a pleasure to speak to you.
Robert, thank you. And talking about rocks.
All right, so that wraps up this episode. Thanks to my guest today, Robin McAuley, and to our listeners. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Robin, again, thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Next time.